Hello and welcome back to the Raxonet Gaming channel. I am your Valorant professor, and Valorant dropped ranked like just a few hours ago. So I want to go over 5 tips that you can use to get that highest rank possible. Now before we get into the meat of the video, please consider hitting that sub button, hitting the like button on the video. It really helps me out a ton. Thank you. And yes, I know you were asking, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Consider stopping by there, asking some questions about Valorant, the agents, whatever you have on your mind. Please just stop by there, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything you have. So the first thing I want to talk about today is crosshair placement. I have seen too many teammates in my matches walk around with their crosshair to the floor. This is absolutely terrible, and it will get you killed 99% of the time. What you want to be doing instead is actually keeping your crosshairs at head level, so as soon as you round a corner or peek anything, you will be ready for a headshot. Another great benefit to having your crosshair at head level instead of at the floor is, let's say you're rounding this corner. That bush is an enemy crouching. Your crosshair is at head level, and instead of coming from the floor all the way up to get a shot on him, instead you're going just slightly down to get a shot on him. Now let's do another scenario. Let's say your opponent is actually a little bit above you. Let's say he's right there. So you're rounding the corner, looking at the floor, and look how much travel time. As soon as you notice him, you're staring at the floor. Look how much travel time you have to go from the floor to where your opponent is. Let's say you're putting your crosshair at head level, which is right about where that line is. You're peeking your corners, Oh, and you notice he's right there. That's such a small amount of distance compared to looking at the floor, and that's why it's very important to always be looking head level when peeking around corners, and generally all the time in Valorant. So for the second tip, it's going to be holding good angles and general positioning. So now let's say you're defending this site, and you know the team is going to be coming from here or here, and you're holding this back room. If you want to hold this side, let's say you have another teammate looking over this way. You're holding this side, and you want to have the best position possible for where you can get a kill, but you're not likely to be killed if you get shot at. The best position wouldn't be right here because A, you're exposing your gun and probably your shoulder out to the enemies pushing you on the left, and you're also close enough to the wall where they can easily wall bang through this wooden piece right here because they can see you. The best position would actually be far away from this corner and this corner where you can get a small window where you can see them running across this catwalk. Because it's a small enough angle to where if they do notice you, you can actually just quickly hide around the right side of this pillar right here. The biggest goal with holding good angles and having good positioning is leaving yourself with the most opportunity to kill your opponent with the least opportunity of you getting killed. Tip number 3 is going to be pulling down your sights while you're firing your weapon. This is applicable for pistols, for SMGs, for all of the rifles, and obviously the heavies as well. So for our example weapon, we're going to take the Vandal. I'm not going to touch my mouse at all except for holding down left mouse, and we're going to see where the spray pattern goes. Okay, so we saw it went up, to the right, to the left, and then back to the right. You would compensate for this by going down, to the left, to the right, and then back to the left again. If you go into the firing range and practice this spray pattern for about 30-45 minutes, maybe even an hour, you'll get it down and it'll be built into your muscle memory and you'll always have it with you. So this is an example of what the Vandal looks like whenever you're controlling the recoil. So you notice how just about every single shot I used went directly into the middle? That's what you can achieve too just by using the practice range for 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, and really just focusing hard on getting that recoil control down. So for tip number 4, I wanted to go over ultimate timings because these really make or break the game. And one of the strongest ultimates in the game is Sage's ability to fully revive a downed teammate, but the problem is it takes a little while for your teammate to actually be able to move and get out of harm's way. And a lot of times I've seen Sages in my games just use their ultimate way out in the open whenever they're not supposed to be. So I just wanted to give a little bit of insight into when you should and shouldn't be using your ultimates. Especially Sages, whenever you're at an advantage, say a 4-on-2, you shouldn't be reviving your 5th teammate because obviously you're more likely going to win the round. Instead, you should save that ultimate for whenever your team really needs it. And obviously it goes without saying, but you shouldn't be using your Sage ultimate out in the open where you could easily get yourself, not only, but your teammate as well, killed. What you would want to do instead is make a barrier wall and then res your teammate instead of just leaving all of this open. Now for our 5th and final tip on how to rank up fast in Valorant. This one's a little bit more technical, so if you want to pay attention to the keyboard inputs right there on the bottom left of your screen, it'll help you out a lot. We're going to be talking about bunny hopping. And bunny hopping, I don't think is as strong as it is in CSGO because you don't actually gain any momentum. But what you can do is bunny hop out of situations that you would normally not be able to get out of just by running. Okay, so the easiest way to bunny hop in Valorant is, assuming you're using W, A, S, and D on your keyboard, all you have to do is hold forward or W on your keyboard. And I would suggest binding jump to your mouse wheel down. It makes bunny hopping so much easier. And I know what you're thinking, you think it's terrible and you never want to do it, but just trust me on this, give it a week and you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? So you want to hold W, and as you jump, you want to look to your right and hold D, and that's what that looks like. After you completed doing the right bunny hop, you want to do the same thing, but reverse it. So you would look to your left and hold A, and that is a bunny hop in Valorant. However, to get a smooth bunny hop, you would need to look to your right, hold D, and as you land, you want to hold A and jump and look to your left. So that's what this looks like. And all you have to do is just get the timing down, and you know, maybe after an hour or so, you'll get it down smoothly where you can bunny hop your way to victory. So some of the benefits for bunny hopping would be, instead of going in a straight line, crossing where you think enemies might be, it's a lot harder to hit a target going up and down and left and right, right? So some of the benefits for bunny hopping is, instead of going in a straight line across where you think an enemy might be watching, it's a lot harder for them to hit a target moving up and down and left and right, isn't it? And we're back. So I know this video ran a little bit long, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth on some of the specific things you can do in Valorant to get those higher echelon ranks. And if you did enjoy the video and got some value out of it, please drop it a like, it helps me out a ton. And if you want to talk more about Valorant, I'm always open to on my stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern. Come talk about my favorite video game. If you're enjoying it, I also have a Discord you can join. Links to that in the description below. Links to everything in the description below. And I hope you all have a great weekend. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Rounded the corner fast as hell.
Yo, garage.
Oh shit.
I know exactly where. Yikes. What the fuck was that little
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
No.
Woo, let's go!